Hello, everybody. I hope y'all are all well. I'm waiting for the audio to catch up so I can hear if everything's sounding good. Yeah, all right, good. Audio is fine. Good morning, everybody. Hello. How are y'all doing? AJ the CEO here. Thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out with me on our Q&A with AJ every Friday. At least we try to do it every Friday. Trying to get my stuff in order. Thank you so much for all the early birds who got here early, as usual. Thank you. Yes, we had a new intro. Been working on some other stuff. Got a lot of things popping off. We are working at doing some new content, some new series stuff. I don't know if you got a chance to check out AJ interviews, where I sat down with Chris Garcia, talk with him. Want to try and do some more stuff like that, and not just talk about the technical, but also talk about purpose, leadership, how to lead a media ministry team, and as well how to effectively communicate with leadership who may not understand the whole purpose of what we do. And, we're trying to mix it up here. Also doing a bunch of shorts, as that's a new thing that was in beta for YouTube, but is now available for everyone. So we'll be talking about that and how you can leverage that with your ministry. Let me get in here and say hello to everybody who's been on. Dylan, of course, hello. Josh, hello. Paul, hello. Francisco, hello. Carriers of the Covenant Ministries, hello. Sean, hello. Mike, what's going on? Matrice, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, hello. Mr. Clarence, hello. Darren, hello. The Chuck Taylor, what's going on from Texas? Again, thank you everybody for joining here. Man, I'm kind of tired just a little bit. We got I'm trying to take a deep breath because we're going to be running right after this. We got a football game. We got an install we got to do at a church. Got 3 computers to be delivered. Got a bunch of packages that are coming, dropping off the computer at Greater Works on Saturday to get that done. Going to play at New Hope, a church that I play on for Third Sunday that's just now opening back up, playing for them, doing praise and worship. Then coming back, picking up my daughter. Then we're going back to do a on-site with Pastor Allen. Then we're doing an install at Faith and Family. Then we got something else. Oh, I got an interview for a podcast that I'm gonna be on. And then it's a good thing, but man, we running. Yeah, I'm sorry, the comments kind of threw me off there. Hello again, everybody who's just now joining as well. Let me see. I'm waiting for this to update. Now, just to let y'all know that I put a slowdown on the chat because very first thing we had some people heckling here in the chat right when I started. So unfortunately, I had to put that in place, and we're gonna be a little bit more strict on the chat because we want to keep this area clean. You do some nonsense, you're gone. So I don't have time for that stuff, really. If you want to heckle somebody else, this ain't the channel for that. And this ain't the live stream for it. Let's get the formal stuff out the way. If you have not joined the Facebook group, please join that. I mean, it's like this all the time. We got excellent stuff that is popping off. They're doing new things that are coming down the pipe, and they're the first ones to hear about any of that stuff. If I can't get to your question, please email me at questions@ajhomes.com. Give me 48 to 72 hours to respond. Also, when you're sending an email, I have to be respectful on how I say this. Thankfully, because of the platform and the level that God has allowed me to get to, I really have to live by my calendar. So if you have a question and you email me, please do not ask me to give you a call. I just don't have the time to do that, unfortunately. I need it to be on my calendar. If I was really answering everybody's calls that email me, I would be doing that all day long, and I can't do that. So if you really, really, really need my time outside of an email, I need you to go ahead and book a consultation with me. You can do that at ajayhomes.com/consultations. All right. It's not a money grab. It's not that at all. I just have to manage my time. We're getting calls internationally now at all times. So that's why I said that in the last video, that my phone automatically goes to do not disturb at 9 p.m. because it's constantly going off, which I am thankful for, but I need to get some rest. So just letting y'all know that. What else? Also, if you haven't, make sure you go ahead and hit that like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification. That way you don't miss any of the content we're doing. We're ramping up our content, folks, so that it's not just technical, like I said, working on mindset, working on developing teams. We're interviewing people, interviewing ministries, everything like that, to give you encouragement, inspire you to move on and do bigger and better things, because if we're not moving forward, we're automatically going backward. That's what it's all about. Oh, and we're going to do something new here. So if you have any e-missionary merch, I'm asking y'all to email it to me. Email me a picture of you in your e-missionary merch or anything like that, whether you got a team of people, because I want to start sharing that stuff. And because this is a movement, this isn't about denominations, it's about all of us working together. So snap a picture of your e-missionary merch, whichever one it is. Send it to info@ajayhomes.com, and I will take a moment starting next week. Well, depending on when we get pictures, we're going to start including those at the end. And just, I'm trying to do this in a different format as well to, switch it up a little bit. We're always trying stuff new. It's no point in me telling y'all to try something new if I'm not doing it myself. Yeah, I think that's it. So let's go ahead and get over to the questions. And for the people who asked, all the music that I have, except for the one that Dylan sent me, thank you so much. That will be featured more often. If y'all are musicians, you can always send your music as well to me at info@ajayhomes.com. Oh, I forgot to do that. Let me jump over here. When you're sending me this picture, please put in the subject e-missionary pick. That way I'll know exactly what it is. And then also, if you want to send me some music that you're doing that you own the rights to, that you have written, you can always send it to me, and I'll feature it on the intro and stuff like that. So, hey, that's all. I want to give everybody an option and a platform to help as much as we possibly can. All right, so let's jump over to our first question from Sean here. Wants to know, how do I set up my AV1280p TZ camera in OBS? I have the IP address for the camera. Well, it all depends on the type of camera that is. I have not worked with that one. Let's see if we can look it up. That is the AV1280 PTZ. I'm going to assume this is it here. I'm assuming. I don't know. All right. So it says it does IP streaming. The main thing is, what are the controls? So it says it's doing RS-232. So his question was, how do I set it up in OBS? I'm not 100% sure. If it's sending it, okay, if it's streaming over IP, okay, what you need to do is, inside the settings, there should be some type of RTMP, some type of streaming or something that gives you the address. So you got the IP address, and then there should be some type of link or something at the end of that. And if you're doing this in OBS, and before I even tell you this, let me just state that if you are streaming over your network from your camera, it is going to be slower than in real time. So be aware of that. It's not a problem with that. If you're sending this stream to somebody, you might have to sync your audio up. That might be a possibility. This is what Spring Creek, how they had their PTZ optics set up, it was streaming over the network, and it was very, very, very delayed with its audio. So just be mindful of that. But if you want to add something, what you would do is come into OBS and your source, add a media source. And what you will want to do is uncheck, if you have local, uncheck that. And what you're going to do is put your input address in here. That's going to be the full link, the full qualified link that's provided by your camera, and it should show that way. That's really all you need to do. If it's anything other than that, I don't know, because I would actually have to have worked with that camera. Most of these cameras are pretty much follow the same thing. So there should be a setting. If you log into the IP address of the camera, it should give you some type of RTMP connection or something like that, so that you can connect to the device. You put that information in, that's it. There you go. Let's see. All right, we're on page number 2. All right, back to here. Man, got some more comments and just pushed my stuff down here. Number 1. Yeah, thank y'all so much. I really appreciate it. If y'all have anybody else you would like me to chat with, whether it be your pastor, honestly, what I had in my mind right now, I don't know if he's joined yet, but I have, well, actually, one of them is here. I have somebody else here that I had in mind that I would love to interview, actually 3 now, and I'll be reaching out to them. They're in the chat right now, so I'm going to be circling back with them pretty soon. Josh, Chuck, Otis. So might be interviewing y'all pretty soon here. Clarence would like to know, what is the make and model of the rack, networking rack that I have right there? I don't know off the top of my head. Let me look up in Amazon real quick, and let me see if I can find it. I think this was in my old Amazon account. So give me a half a second to log into that. While we're doing that, anybody got any significant plans going on for this weekend? For service or anything like that? All right, I'm logged in. We're going to look for... Okay, so... Here you go, Clarence. The networking case is this one. Got it in 2017. It's SafeStar Wall Mount 9U, which is not available, but honestly, it looks just like the nav point ones. Yeah, it served me well. I have it on wheels, but I'd rather wall mount it and put it like somewhere, but I have to get a house. They won't let me put this on a wall here in an apartment. Back to Mike, he was saying, wow, that's a lot of stuff. How do you keep it straight? I live off of my calendar. I have to force it that way, because if I don't, I'm only one person, and at this point, I'll start forgetting stuff. So that's why when people call me, I always direct them, please book it on ajhomes.com/consultations. And that way, I can keep myself honest and remember what's going on, because I think on top of this, I also got to do my taxes for my business, which were late. Businesses had to file their stuff by March 15th. We're behind a little bit. So had to file an extension. So we're working on that as well, too. So, yeah, busy. Joshua, hello. Let's go to Samuel Harris here. Hey, AJ, I have 2 old projectors, only SDI and regular video. I purchased a converter scaler to get a picture, but cannot get a signal. What should I do? I need to know what type of model that is, because I had some devices that were SDI, but they were not HD SDI. And then there's a different format that certain SDIs perform. Like you have the SDI that you use for the old CCTV type of inputs. They don't work with the regular signal. You have to send a different type of signal. It all depends on what type that is. It could just be SDI, this really component cable. It depends if you have one SDI or if it has 5, I believe, no, 3 or 5, that might be a component one. So it's just sending that over that, and it's just a BNC connector so that the cable won't come loose. Need to know what the model, and I can see what I can do from there. Darren, I completely agree. Now, for some reason, people have selective salvation. They completely forget about that part of the scripture. Darren, also looking forward to hearing more about PTZ Optics, but they are, how's that cheaper you highlighted earlier this month working? It's working great at Greater Works. I'm actually going to go back over there tomorrow, and honestly, what I'm depending on the what's going on with Pastor Allen and some other places, I might even look at convincing them to go with that brand, and just to see if it doesn't work out, I'll buy them from them, and then we'll switch it out to something else. But I will let you know. I mean, I was happy with what they seen. Pastor Alicia did tell me she had an issue, but I don't think it's camera related. I think it was with the system that we're working on, but we'll figure that out tomorrow. And I feel like I got to sneeze. Man. Before I get to Carriers of the Covenant Ministries, actually, I don't know if y'all saw my video on the SCORE OCR. The owner of that company reached out to me and gave me some tips on that. He was saying to zoom in and stuff like that closer to the scoreboard. So we're going to be testing that out at Prince George after this. I'm going to get down there a little bit earlier. Trying to set up these nano stations so I can get a good signal as well, too, but that's a lot. But anyway, what are your tips on getting good results on green screening and chroma keying? Lighting. You need good lighting. You need to have an even lighting across everything. You need to have a key light that gets rid of your shadow, and you need that green screen to be an even color across everything. Any dip in color, that's what makes it more difficult. That's what I would recommend. JHB was saying, was your interview with Chris Garcia done in OBS or just default Zoom recording? Can you go over how to add timestamps in Facebook and YouTube? Thanks. First, the interview was actually done in Millen app. I did a review about that a while ago. I did that whole thing in that. So it was really straightforward. Now, for timestamps, the easiest way I can show you for YouTube, Facebook, I'm not aware of timestamps if they have that as an option yet. But let me see if I can show you a good example. It's really fairly easy to set it up here. So if we cut over to that same interview that we were talking about, this is with me and Chris, and you see these timestamps, these cuts, chapters or whatever, and if we click down here, it'll show them over here. So how do you do that? All you got to do is just put the time and put a label beside it. That would give it its title, and that's it. You just put a time. You always start with 0, and then you just put the time right beside it. I put three groups of digits, hours, minutes, seconds, because sometimes our videos go long. But if you only had minutes and seconds, you can just do it 00:00. It will work that way as well. That's really all it is to it. Really straightforward. And you can always add this. I actually put this in my YouTube default so that it's always there. I just got to go in and add it later on. You can do this as well. So like right now, I really don't do it for these Q&As because I have to go back and watch through the whole thing and put those timestamps. But for premieres, when you're premiering it, just like a live stream, you can't see the timestamp, but when the premiere is over, the timestamps are there. So any videos, most of the time I put a timestamp, and if you don't watch it live when I present it, you would come in and that's how you can see the timestamps. YouTube, like I said, I don't know if that is a feature, but I will look into that. Jenner, sorry if I pronounce your name wrong. How do you overlay transparent and semi-transparent with animations just like the ask questions graphics you have on your stream? Thanks. That is actually an After Effects template that's made in a PNG sequence. And in vMix and in OBS or in your editing software, you could bring all those images over. So if I cut over here to my graphic stuff that when I make stuff here on DaVinci Resolve, if I cut over here, this is the sequence of like the A10 mini giveaway. So it plays through all of these images to do that. And it just plays through all of those. And it's like straight old school animation. And it just plays through. And if like I open one of these, you'll see it just shows up like this, and it's just playing through them. So if I go to the next, actually, let me open up one of the closer ones here. So if I just keep going through this, as you see, it's just playing it, and it's just still images. And it's all transparent, so that's how it can see through. It was made in After Effects. You could always do that in Photoshop. Just don't include anything. In your streaming software of choice, like vMix or OBS, I just select a image sequence, and then it just plays it. vMix is a lot more fluid than I have with OBS, but they still work. And then in your video editing, I do the same thing. In DaVinci Resolve, in Sony Vegas, in HitFilm, you can just drag it over, and it just sees all these images as a sequence, but it actually functions like it's a movie. And that's pretty much it. Excuse me. I was yawning and thought I had to burp at the same time. New Hope Baptist Church here saying, hey AJ, using Worship Extreme on an old computer, want to do lower thirds to new computer, both on the same network switch. OBS NDI plugin on new computer, NDI tools on the old, but can't see it on new. What you need to do, I had that same issue. Make sure that you are getting the firewall warning that comes up. That's what's going to block everything. What you can do is, if that does not work, and I do this here. If I cut over here, what I'm normally doing, I'm watching this on an NDI viewer. With the tools, it will actually have the studio monitor. Open that up, and it should kick off the firewall program again to make it be available. That's really all that's stopping it. If you have a problem, completely shut the entire computer down, open back up OBS, and you need to see the firewall warning or detection that it needs to allow NDI on both systems, receiving and transmitting. That would be the only time I've seen that issue. And then if you have a problem, ultimately, unfortunately, you got to uninstall everything with NDI and do it again. Make sure it's 3.5 version. That's the latest, I believe. And then also just look up the NDI OBS plugin, and I think it most recently was updated in February, I believe. Just make sure you have the latest. But that's the only thing. If you're in, again, the way you can also test it, put the studio monitor on the other computer that you're trying to send it to, and see if you can see it through the studio monitor. The studio monitor normally will let you see it faster than the other ones, but it's mainly a firewall issue. Mike here, let me move my screen back over here. This weekend, we're preparing for a joint Zoom service with a sister church in the city, so they will Zoom it to their people, and we will live stream it to Facebook to ours. Okay, awesome. I'm trying to convince some of the local ministries to do more collaboration stuff. I don't know why. Well, I know why people ain't doing it, but all we can do is keep saying. And here we go, folks. The whole tone of this live stream is about ready to change. Good morning, Pastor Alicia. Josh, don't forget to join. Yes, thank you. Don't forget to join the Facebook group. Fun Friday on for members might come to a lot later than usual, but includes AJ. No live stream, no capes. Spoilers. Don't ruin Falcon and Winter Soldier for me. Yeah, I just finished watching it. Slow burn. I'll just say that. That's not ruining anything. Peter here. Hey, AJ, thanks for the ministry you do for helping people all over the world. But from Botswana, awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Now, I normally don't say to do this, but it was humbling when I was making this new intro, because normally y'all see I take pictures of the churches that I was at, and there were 40 still images in that fast time lapse that, man, I've been to over 40, helped 40 ministries directly, and that was just last year. So that's very humbling, but thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Lester, is the price of the A10 Mini Pro going up? Because I've seen the prices have jumped up. Yeah, they're jumping up if you're going to Amazon, because Amazon doesn't sell them directly. I actually used to do this. They actually are sold by vendors. Amazon directly doesn't sell anything unless you see it sold by Amazon or made by Amazon. Their business is kind of like a franchise. They are the platform, but they allow other people to sell stuff on there for them. You'll see that if you look at the bottom, and it'll show you where it's actually selling from. Most people don't scroll down and see that, but it really is. I used to sell Contigo cups and a bunch of other stuff when we were in the hustle to produce some income. But honestly, when it comes to stuff like that, I always go to BH Photo, Andromeda, that's Mass Effect, Adorama, because they sell at market price. They don't mark it up, and then on Amazon, they justify marking it up with shipping and handling, or they throw some nonsense HDMI cables and stuff like that. The A10 Mini is $295. A10 Mini Pro is $595. A10 Mini ISO is $895. The Extreme is $995, and the Extreme ISO is $1295. Don't pay a dime more than that. That is the price. So if you see them going anywhere other than that, I have not seen them on those reputable sites like BH Photo, Adorama, Marker Tech, those things that sell this type of stuff. Sweetwater, they don't mark it up. Back to Samuel here. I can't remember the model number, I apologize, but there is no VJ connection, only RC and component. They have adapted that to SDI. Okay. Best as you can, send me a picture of it at questions@ajhomes.com, and we can see what we can do to help you out there. Dylan wants to know, can you make sequences in Canva similar to what you're showing in DaVinci Resolve? Yes, you can, but it's going to be tedious, and you also need to have the pro paid version of Canva so that you can get it in a transparent background. The free version doesn't allow you to do that, but yes, you can. The Chuck Taylor, great tip on YouTube timestamps is to have it set up once and then go back and adjust the times after the stream. It works well if you have church service. Same, yes, exactly. I've started adding that as well too, Awesome. Yeah, PowerPoint can work as well too. Apostle Kingdom Ministries, hello. Hampton, hello. Let's see. Yeah, I have not, for those who are talking about it, I haven't seen the Snyder Cut. I've had half and half. People say it's good. Some people said it's bad. I don't know. I still haven't even had a chance to watch Wonder Woman, 1984, 89, whatever number it is. But yeah, it's a lot of stuff. I don't know. I don't play my PlayStation as much, not because I'm just so busy. It's like, I'm a very, very, very big gamer. I know this is off topic, but let me show you my gaming profile here, so I can show you just how much I would do this stuff. And I'm waiting for my profile to update here. I haven't updated it on PSN profiles in a minute, so it's trying to generate my stuff. And it's taking too long. So, oh, and right when I start typing, that's when it shows up. All right, so why is this page going so slow? All right, so here's my gaming profile for my PlayStation. So as you can see, I have over 182 platinums, 11,000 some odd trophies and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, I'm a big gamer, but the last time I've played anything was January of this year, was Hitman 3 and Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Really haven't played much since then because, I don't know, this is just the thought of me sitting down and playing video games like I used to for long periods of time. It's just not interesting to me. It can't really hold my attention. I'll do movies because that's very short. But I used to watch movies over and over and over again, but I just can't do that no more. Most of the time I'm either doing video stuff, doing YouTube. And honestly, yes, it's work, but it's something I enjoy. So I can sit here and do this. Like, I didn't even go to sleep until like 2 o'clock this morning because I was working on stuff. But yeah. Joe Rodriguez. I just want to say hello. Thanks for all you do. Hey, you're welcome. I'm helping Joe out on some projects that may be coming down the pipe as well too. Josh wants to know, will there be more ministry review videos like the last one? Would love to get more encouragement from other churches. Yeah, this is some of the new content that I'm thinking about doing. The only thing is I'm probably not going to do it as long as I did like on the Facebook group. Like we jokingly say, and we mean it, that we don't no live streaming inside the group, but we do share live streams on given threads to give motivation, inspiration, to see what other people are doing, to give you ideas to help with your stuff. And I would like to do that. I just need to think of a different format so it doesn't take me as long to review as well as edit. So I might say, if I do it again, it might be that I just do this, maybe look at 5 and go from there. I just don't want anybody to feel that they're being left out. It just takes a while to do that stuff, but I'll think about it. Let's see what else was going on. Joe wants to know, am I streaming with an ATEM right now? Yes and no. No, I'm not streaming with it. I'm streaming with vMix, but I'm using I'm using my ATEM Mini Pro for all of my inputs, but that's being sent to my streaming system to my left so that I can do all the graphics and stuff like that. Carl from Tacoma, Washington. Hello. Appreciate it. Streets of Destiny. Good morning. I mentioned this before. We saw a recent video. Could use a workflow. OBS source for audio input, settings for audio, and computer default settings. All right. So I did and also based off of that, I've had a lot of people, in the nicest way possible, were telling me that sometimes my videos are too long. Then I have other people say my videos are too short. So thankfully, like I mentioned, YouTube has dropped out of beta YouTube Shorts. So these are short videos that I'm working to get as simple as possible, straight to the point, for those who don't want to sit down for the long form content. And I did one about the audio, but let's jump over here so we can show you that. Oh, wrong camera. We're on the desktop. So in your audio, this is my mindset. Again, I'm not saying that this is the only way it can be done. This is what works for me. When, like, I'm looking here at the sports stuff that I'm doing. So as you can see right here, the only audio that I have is the pregame music. That's what's coming in. And that's funny because this is the team that's actually playing today. This was from last year. Awesome. But anyway, in this scene, the only audio that is coming on, and I need to make sure that's muted so that's not coming through to y'all. The only audio that's coming in is the music that I have set. See, if I came in here and in audio had any of this stuff enabled, like say I had my default sound, see now it's producing an echo because it's playing the music in the scene, but then it's also playing it from my speakers because it is. That's what's causing an echo. For me, the easiest way for me to avoid all the echo and all this craziness with audio, I disable the global audio settings for OBS completely. So that way nothing comes in unless I set the audio on a given scene. So again, only audio that's coming through is from the intro. When I'm in the game, the only audio that's coming in is from the ATEM. And that goes for the same thing here. When it's halftime, the only audio that's coming in is the music, which I don't have linked here. And that's it. That's how I handle audio coming into the ATEM. Now, your choice of audio can be anything, whether it's going through your ATEM through the switcher like I have, or you can have it like an external mixer like I'm using right now, which is going directly to my system. So it would be like your streaming system. The video is going into it, but my audio is going somewhere else, and they're marrying those two together, and they're in sync, obviously, mainly because the system is fast enough to do that. And then there are multiple ways for you can do that. And I keep switching back to the wrong camera. You can have just one mic. You can have it to a mixer. You can do anything. Just like tip that Chuck was saying, is if you're doing it into a computer, make sure you're pulling your audio into the line in if you have one. If you only have a mic input, make sure you turn the gain down inside the mic because it's in the settings, because it's gonna make your system entirely too loud. And also, again, thanks Chuck, we do not come out of the headphone jack on your mixer. Try and do an aux out, a line out, a monitor out. Avoid coming out of the headphone jack because it's not going to give you a balanced sound if you're going into your system. Now, with that being said, if you have no other option, go for it. But it is highly recommended to do it a different way if you don't. Honestly, I'd rather you get a shotgun mic and just capture the environment than pull bad audio from your mixer. So hope that helps. Again, for the interviews, I used Millen app for that because I wanted it to be easier. I wanted to be able to bring in comments. That's what I use for that. Hampton, I sent the link. I don't know why you're not able to get the link to this. The app is VB Audio Cable. And it's just vb-audio.com. And then you just click on audio cable and it just downloads right there. So I'm not sure why you're not able to get that link, but I will put it in the comments here. But that's really it. Let's see. Chris, yes, actually, I have. When I did an interview with my brother-in-law, when we were talking about the Zoom, how they're using Zoom for Bible study, that's when I used that. I intentionally wanted to use Melon app because I had people asking questions, so I did it for that, as well as, the company gave me the software, and I just don't do stuff. I want to actually use the stuff I have, and then because I have people asking me questions. That's why I'm able to answer y'all's questions, because everything that y'all are talking about, for the most part, I've used. So, plus, I thought that was a good use for it anyway, so we'll see. Back to Mike. Is the best practice for video length out there? Should you split things up into multiple parts? Well, I don't think it is, but I mean, I kind of think it depends on what your content is. And I jokingly always say this, that the mind can take what the butt can withstand. So, the idea is, it's like we talked about it before. If you go to a store and they have 4 cans of ravioli for $1 each, something like that, and most people won't buy it, but then they'll go next week and they'll say, get 4 cans, buy 4 cans, get the 5th free for $5 or something like that, or $4 or something like that. I mean, it means the same thing. It's just how it's pictured. So in other words, how I put that is, you have a 1-hour video. Most people are going to be on their phone, and that's going to be uncomfortable to watch. The majority of people aren't going to do that on their phone or tablet or even a computer. So the idea is, instead of having one long 1-hour video where you're holding somebody hostage to watch the whole video in its entirety, why not split it up? Because, I mean, in all honesty, most YouTube videos, unless they're really, 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 really engaging, like the most recent Mark Roper one, where he does the glitter bomb and they were tracking down scam artists on the phone. I sat and watched that entire thing. But the idea is, take a 1 hour long video. Most people, 50% of the people drop off after the first minute to 2 minutes. So if you have long tail content like that, say again, it's an hour, why not cut it down into 10-minute chunks, something like that, to where when somebody is watching it, they're like, oh man, they get through and they're like, I only went through 2 minutes and I still got 58 minutes left. You're probably going to lose them compared to, oh man, I only got to do this maybe 5 more minutes. Yeah, I can watch that. And then at the end, you tag it to the next following video. So now you get people to watch multiple videos that gets the same result, instead of having one long video expecting them to watch the thing in entirety. That's my methodology for splitting up clips. Somebody else might have a different way of doing that, but that's just how I have gotten more traction out of that. Samuel sent me the model here of this projector. So let's see. This is the model that he said. And I think when it comes to projectors and stuff like this, I really wish vendors would give more detailed pictures. I mean, I'm the nerd, so I'm like, I can care less about this. I want to see what the back connections look like. That's what I want to see. And don't have pictures on here. So, all right, it says it can do 720p and 1080i. Yeah, I don't know, Samuel. I'm gonna have to look through this, but let me open up another browser so that way I won't lose this, and I have to look back over that one. Back to Joe. Man, why I feel like I keep having to sneeze. If you have 4 cameras going into the ATEM Mini, then from the ATEM into a computer running OBS Studio, does OBS recognize each individual camera so you can switch between them in OBS? No. Just like in mine, vMix and OBS, they only see the master out that's coming from the ATEM. You're switching everything. OBS, any program, they're only going to see one feed. It's the ATEM controller is what's going to give you the option of what you're picking. That's all it's going to be. Chris, yes, it is a delay because I had some hecklers at the very beginning. I put a slow response. It's a 30-second delay in between people posting. I put that on the stream because people were just doing some nonsense at the very beginning. So unfortunately, I had to put that on there. Pastor Alicia saying, congratulations on your invite to the National pastor's podcast. Will you be sharing media equipment information or media ministry information? Yeah, I was actually invited to speak on a podcast, not next week, but I think week after next. Honestly, I think I really don't know what the subject matter is going to be. I know it's going to be media ministry related. I just don't know. I think they're just going to be asking me questions. When I get some more details, I will let y'all know. But yeah, awesome. Thank you. Lester says that his pastor wants our church to use a green screen. What is the best way to do this? Well, it depends on what you're going to use the green screen for. I mean, I have one that's like on the floor right behind me. I really don't use it as much as I used to. But I mean, what's the purpose? I just need to know that, and I can help in that direction. Back to Jenner. How do you display the live comments on the stream? Input to ATEM Mini, the green screen, or direct to vMix from the Philippines? Thank you so much. Actually, all of this is being done in vMix. It's a program called vMix Social that connects to Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and IRC, and it pulls the graphics, the comments in, and I can put them in a transparent layer. That's how you're seeing it. That's how that is being done. So this is not being done through the ATEM or anything. This is all directly in vMix. And Melon app did the same thing. It can pull it directly into the software. Yeah, he's wild. He actually was a engineer at NASA, and he literally only does one video a month. And because he takes a whole month to produce it, but it's really awesome. Back to Samuel here. Can you use both the USB-C and HDMI out on the ATEM Mini at the same time? Yes, you can, because that's what I'm using right now. I have the HDMI out going in so I can see the multi-view of everything that's going on, so I can see the time and everything like that. But then at the same time, I also, well, actually, let me add that so y'all can see it here. Add input, camera. All right, so what I'm going to do is let y'all see. All right, you should still be able to hear me. So this is how, it might be doing an echo. Let me turn that off. So this is what I'm using here. So this is my HDMI out, but what y'all were seeing originally is the USB. I see that multi-view, so I can see the levels and everything right here on my teleprompter that's right above me. But then at the same time, y'all are seeing the HDMI out. The USB out. So that's how you do it. That's how I would do it at churches as well too. But if you're using the ATEM Mini Pro and you need the multi-view, but you also are trying to output to your pulpit or in the sanctuary to a TV, you lose that functionality because the USB out only does the program out. Okay, so you're saying for different backgrounds, Lester, then I would honestly go to a Marshalls or a fabric store and just get a perfect green type of sheet, pull it on mounts, and then get some clamps just to pull it real taut to get all the wrinkles out, and then just evenly light it. And that's really all you need. And then you can make that changes. If you have an ATEM, do it in there, or you can do it in OBS, vMix, whatever your software is, Zoom, whatever, to switch that out. And that would help. The main thing is lighting. Joe, honestly, I'm using vMix because I bought the $60 version, and then a lot of subscribers had questions about vMix, so I went to that. I honestly use both. For a beginner, I always suggest OBS. If you got the cash for it, the version of vMix that I'm using right now is $350. And a lot of times for new folks that are getting into live streaming, that seems expensive until you start getting into it. When you start getting into it and you've been streaming for a while and they're like, you know what, $350 is not bad compared to when you really know what's out there. So a lot of people say, oh man, a Tesla Model 3 at $60,000 is expensive, until you realize, oh, I only have to change my tires and put windshield wiper fluid in it. I don't have oil changes, spark plugs that need to be changed, maintenance, all, you think it costs a lot until you see everything. That's kind of the analogy I like to put with that. So honestly, I don't have any favorites over either one. I like them both. I use OBS for pretty much everything I do. When I'm doing stuff like this, where I need to bring comments and do a whole lot more stuff, I use vMix. But that system over here has vMix and OBS and Wirecast on that system, so I can bounce between any of them. Yes, I do know what you're talking about, Josh. You are welcome. And let's see. vMix is just PC, right? I believe it is. I believe it is only that. What's the best alternative for OBS on Mac? Ecamm Live, I believe, is a good choice for the Mac. And let me see if I can turn off the latency in the chat. I don't think I can turn it off while we're in here. Oh, actually, yes, I can. All right, I just turned it off, so it should come a lot faster now. Yeah, folks, I think that's, and again, normally I would go longer, and to be quite honest, I'm really not feeling good right now. My stomach is bothering me a little bit. So I'm going to try and lay down and take a nap for a little bit before we get started. But thank y'all so much for all your comments and stuff like that. Make sure you hit me up. If I didn't get a chance to get to your question, make sure that you email me at questions@ajayhomes.com. Also, make sure that you join our Facebook group, the Modern Media Ministry Made Easy. It's this all day long with media ministries all over the world. We're over 2,000 media ministries strong. So no matter what equipment or question you got, there's probably somebody who has the same thing or is doing the same thing that you're doing. Also, please make sure you smash that like button. Please, I really appreciate it. If you're not, hit the subscribe button and click that bell notification so that way you get notified when we come out with other videos to help modernize your media ministry. And I normally don't ask this, but hey, it's not just about your local ministry. We're all working together. Share some of these videos with other ministries to help them out, because if you help the other ministry down the street, honestly, by helping them, you're helping yourself and you're helping us collectively as the body of Christ. That's what it's really all about. And that's what I hope to do here. I want to thank the patrons who made this video possible. You too can become a patron for as little as $1 a month. And we have a bunch of extra perks that we do. They get access to the the recordings of our Zoom bi-weekly calls. They get discount codes for when they're doing anything on my website, consultations. And if you're e-missionary, the ones that are in that orange, they get a free consultation every month with me, and we can talk about anything. That's up to them. And then you can also hit the join button below to become a YouTube member. I'm working on adding some more stuff there, but I got to make sure I'm inside the terms of use on what I can and can't do on YouTube, but more things are coming. Thank you so much, folks. Really appreciate it. Again, don't forget to send me pictures of your e-missionary merch. Send that here with the subject e-missionary pick to info@ajayhomes.com. And I want to start focusing and featuring y'all some more. Look out. I might actually start doing this more in a show type of format. So I might be reaching out to some of y'all to do some little mini training and videos or tours or stuff like that, call it contributor stories, and try and turn this more into a show to bring that this is not just me talking to y'all, but this is how we can all work together. That's what all the content new content we're doing here on the channel is for. So again, if no one has ever told you folks, thank you so much for what you're doing for the media ministry at your local ministry and for all of us together. I appreciate it, because sometimes what we do is a thankless job, and I want to tell you personally, thank you for what you're doing. So y'all have a great day, afternoon, evening, whatever it is. Y'all have a blessed weekend, and we'll see y'all on the next video. Later.